Hi, I'm Zarnicks. Escape from Tarkov is a game that I, unlike many of your favorite content creators, am very, extraordinarily bad at. Half of this lack of skill comes down to the fact that I am a mere mortal, sure, but the other half comes down to the fact that I play this game blind. No quest guides, no money-making tutorials, and no extraction maps. And together, that's what you and I will be doing as we prepare for the wipe that's sure to come around at the end of the year. Playing Escape from Tarkov from level 1, online, and purely blind aside from the knowledge I've managed to gain for myself over the last few years. I have a little extract know-how, I've done many of the starting quests a few times, and I know how to peek a door every once in a while, but for the most part, I'll be playing this game without a paddle. And while that makes getting from point A to point B far more of a chore, it also makes those little moments of discovery all the more rewarding. Oh, this is a transit to factory. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Now let's get stuck in. Let's lay down some ground rules while you watch me get my starting character in order. First, under no circumstances can I use the flea market. While the flea market is a good system for players who don't have a lot of time to play, or simply prefer to keep Tarkov a PvP game that they can get back into the action with quickly, it makes immersive players, like myself, have a less rewarding experience. Instead of being able to buy the quest items and upgrade materials that I'll need to grow my account, I'll be forced to know where to look on certain maps, which will provide a better blind playthrough. Second, I will have access to scav runs and traders. While Pestil's Hardcore is a cool concept, I think foregoing access to scav runs and, more importantly, traders ruins the relationship between the trader characters and the player to a degree that takes more immersion away from the game than it adds. Escape from Tarkov is a game about political strife and economic instability, creating a vast ocean of wealth for those with enough skill to take advantage of it. So participating in the economy and subsequently gaining a relationship of love and hate with certain traders is part of the fun. Remember, I'm playing this game blind. I want to know what these guys offer and at what levels. I'm fairly certain that I've never gotten any of them to max before, and that's a prospect that is made only more tantalizing by being able to buy from the traders themselves. Plus, nobody wants to watch me sit in a corner for an hour so that I can protect a weapon before extracting. Lastly, I will be able to use other players in-game for help. If I can successfully gain the trust of another player sufficiently enough to have them show me where an extract is, or where certain loot is, or where I might find a boss, for example, then I'm going to take full advantage of the opportunity. The point of playing blind is to make use of the in-game tools made available to me to help me along my playthrough, and voice chat is one of those tools that functions in an immersive way. So it's allowed here, where the flea is not. Before I continue, what you're going to notice right now probably is that my mic quality has increased substantially. In the middle of making this video, I got a new microphone with a Focusrite Solo audio interface, so everything is going to probably sound a little bit better, assuming I'm not getting any of my settings wrong. So I know that's jarring, but we're yeah, growing pains. I guess I'm just getting new equipment, so I don't know, whatever. I'm just letting you know that's why I sound different. Now that we've had a moment to go over the basics of this late wipe playthrough, we can get started with the journey itself. These traders offer players the opportunity to take on tasks or quests for them, increasing their relationship to the player, while also resulting in different rewards. Of course, we're going to accept all the quests we can get from these guys. A guy named Prapper wants us to scout out some mounted weaponry at Ground Zero, Skier wants us to make contact with a transportation expert in an SUV, and this nurse wants us to find an Embercom medical area while bringing her some medical supplies. Additionally, a mechanic tells us to investigate something about a dead scientist and some private military contractors, I don't know. Our own personal hideout amounts to a pile of rubble, our skills are not very skillful, and naturally we're going to try to knock out all of these quests in one go. Luckily we do have some starting gear to make that potentially happen, and so with that we're off to Ground Zero. I had my mic on for much of the gameplay, but I'll admit my settings were a little wonky, which has resulted in an audio gate that shuts my voice out when I'm speaking too low. So I've just muted the mic completely. It's really not enjoyable to listen to. Also, the gameplay footage itself is 60 frames per second, which I can handle much more than that, but I didn't realize I was recording at that. These are just the growing pains of learning how to record a gaming channel, so I apologize for that. This will be fixed in future episodes. As you can see, I'm a little unsure about whether or not my DPI feels correct. It wasn't long until I was prepared to move across the street and find the first mounted weapon that Proper told me about. The mounted weapon is up these stairs, and oftentimes, so are players. To make the area more dangerous, you'll even see some barbed wire towards the top that make approaching the area substantially more troublesome. But I need to push it, so up we go. You'll notice that I'm bobbing and weaving my head a lot when peeking around these corners. The idea is that if there's someone holding an angle, knowing where they are is more important than being able to kill them immediately. So you poke your head out to gain information, or see if someone shoots at you. If nothing happens and you can't see anyone, then you're probably clear. With no enemies in the area, I managed to scout the weapon, and seeing some foes in the distance, somewhat stupidly decide to commandeer this gun and try my luck. Not my greatest work, I admit. We loot up the top floor and get back down to ground level before making our way up to the next gun on the map. After some looting, I found the second gun. Taking a look at my inventory, you can see that I've acquired some medical equipment during the raid, which is a prerequisite for Therapist's Quest, alongside the need to find that Emercom medical base of operations. I've also found a Salewa, another medical item that I can turn in at a later time for another early game quest. Not bad. I begin making my way across the map, and there is something you should know about me. If there are drawers or jackets nearby, I feel obligated to loot them. Both of them give the player opportunities to find keys, which are my favorite items to high roll. Keys can give you access to quest completions, shortcuts, and high-tiered loot that saves inventory spaces or generates massive amounts of cash. I love keys. Keys all the way. There's the scav killing prerequisite done. In a panic, I rush back towards my drawers of safety.
Вон он, блядь!
This large building in front of me houses the PMCs and dead scientist. I need to complete Mechanic's first quest. Inside, we find the dead scientist, along with a key to his office space where a hard drive of interest is housed. The private military contractor, or PMC, that I'm looting here has a USEC badge on his arm. The USEC PMCs are the Western Force in this game, where the Bears, which is the side that I chose for this playthrough, are the Eastern Force. Why the USEC bodies are littered everywhere, I don't know. After collecting the hard drive upstairs, returning to investigate some dead bodies, I've completed all the prerequisites for Mechanic's quest. Now all that's left for this raid is to locate the Emercom medical area and turn in some items for Therapist. I happen to know where this area is, so it isn't too difficult. We loot up the tent and exit the raid. Now it's time to turn in these quests. Proper thanks us and gives us a new quest. Therapist thanks us and gives us a new quest. I haven't completed Skier's quest yet, but Mechanic thanks us and... Oh. There's a problem. You see, Mechanic's quest, the one involving the dead scientist, is programmed in such a way that assumes you're going to be investigating the PMC's dead bodies and then collecting the key before going into the office. What I did, obviously, was grab the key, enter the office, and then investigate the PMC bodies. Because of this, I have a prerequisite of entering the office post-investigation. It's been left unsatisfied, so I have to go back into the office to complete it. That's annoying, I think, but whatever, I can manage. And that's how we began. In the next episode, we'll be trying to complete these beginner quests so that we can move on to the other maps and really start exploring the game. Thanks for watching, good luck, have fun.